evening, good morning, good afternoon. We are really around the world. My name is Dr. Tova Goldfein. This is TMS Roundtable Global. I'm with my co-host, Rose Hoy. Welcome. Good morning. Good to see you, Rose, always.
Good morning. Good morning, world. Now, this morning, we've got Jeannie Kulwin. Now, Jeannie is a breath coach and a stress coach, but she likes to tune in. And hopefully she will tell us all about tuning in, because it's such a lovely, lovely idea to tune in to whoever we're with and whoever we're around and become attuned to the world. Now, I'd like to actually join this idea with the breath. Now, we breathe all the time. We don't think about it. But when we're stressed, we hold our breath. When we're worried, we hold our breath. When we become conscious of our breath, we then can back off the somatic symptoms that we're experiencing. I know it's not easy, but it is achievable. Now, Jeannie, come and tell us more. And first of all, tell us about how you overcame chronic fatigue. So she's got a long story, and it takes a lot of what would you call it? Like different areas that have arisen for her. So share a little bit of that for an encouragement to other people. So thank you for coming on board, Jeannie.
Hi, you guys.
It was chronic fatigue and
Fibromyalgia. Yeah.
Anyway, so okay.
Well, among many others, but those are the main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So great to be back. And if you're tuning in, that's like our word for the day. You might have remembered that I came here. We went. This was supposed to be live back in October. So if you're wondering, I've been telling people I'm so excited to be back, to be here live, to interact with you. So thank you for that. So yeah, well, my journey, like they said, it's been up and down, and I thought I got on the other side, and I sure didn't. And it was 14 years of not knowing what was wrong, and mystery. And Scotty, I have to say hi to Scotty, says, welcome back. And hi, Betty.
Hi, Scotty. Hi, Betty. I don't know you, Betty, but I know you now.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I mean, I actually, thinking back on my story, even at age 20 and 21, I had stress fractures and shin splints, and, started with physical therapy and chiropractor like at 20. And they always ask, like, you must be an athlete because we got severe stress fractures. And I was not. I just went to the gym a few times a week. So it seemed like something was kind of off even at 21, 22, even when it wasn't major stuff. So then the stress fractures and shin splints. And then at age 26, I had my first huge flare up with chronic pain in my ankles. And I live in Los Angeles, all the doctors, all the tests, all the everything. And I mean, knock on wood, I didn't know at the time, but this is later to be defined as TMS. So lots of challenges with that, and a lot of my own internal battle with the worthiness and feeling like what's wrong with me, and then all the things and being judged, and anxiety comes and all those things. So it was a lot of flares with that. Like I'd be good for a few months and then it would come back. But the ankles in my mind, like representing moving forward, right? And just really being in so much pain, waking up in the morning, the feet hit the ground, and as soon as they hit the ground, it's pain, and just not wanting to deal, not wanting to move forward, and very, very painful. At age 30, so 4 years later, is when I got major back problems, and it came from swimming. I mean, that's what I thought, right? I know we laugh now, but it came from swimming. I was swimming, and that's when more trouble started with severe back pain, top, bottom, middle, with the ankle pain still going back and forth, and dealing with working full time and just pushing it all down because I was a teacher and have to put on a happy face. So really struggling big time, and being so busy with the doctors and the treatments, and just this big chronic loop of stress and fear, and all the different, I never did pain pills per se. I'm so glad I didn't get it was very close. I mean, it sounds tempting, right, to take some pain pills, but I knew that wasn't healing me. But all the alternative treatments, and it's very stressful because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of disappointment. So yeah, so it was another 10 years of back pain on and off, digestive issues, sinuses, anxiety, insomnia, depression, all of it kind of together. So that's,
Jeannie,
yeah.
could I just break your thinger, your dialogue? I just thought, tell us the audience about that feeling of disappointment going from doctor to doctor, and what that did to your psyche. Could you just share that a little
Sure.
minute? Because this is a very common situation that happens to people. You know, they'll say, I've been to 25 doctors and I didn't get a diagnosis. And it's sort of like you blame yourself. Could you just
Sure.
draw on that for a few moments, please?
Yes, and that's why I'm so passionate about this work of us sharing our stories, because I did feel so alone. And I remember feeling I was very anxious with all the pain, and I literally couldn't sleep because I was in so much pain. So I physically couldn't sleep because of the pain. And then, of course, I created more anxiety in my head. And I remember just the doctor like, oh, well, you have an anxiety disorder, and just making me feel, how dare I have anxiety when you're dealing with major chronic health issues, but then you don't know what's wrong with, and even just friends and family. Well, what's wrong? What's going on? I don't know. And I felt very ashamed of not knowing what was going on with how can I not know my own body, my own symptoms? And I dealt with pain doctors. So log all your pain, and, oh, well, there must be a reason. So is it food? What food did you eat? It must be the food. So it was very lonely, which is why this community is so important. It's so healing to be in community, because I only found out about TMS about 3 years ago. So the whole journey, 14 years, I had no idea other people went through this. And
just because it's fascinating, was there any doctor along the trail that had some sense to ask you what was going on in your life?
No. I think I talked about it in the is that I had a very compassionate chiropractor who told me that fibromyalgia, it's a bad diagnosis, and it's I can move forward. I remember telling him, and I shared this last time, is that a rheumatologist, and we both were in shock. I remember, Tova, when I told you, because I'm small framed, the rheumatologist who was treating me for the fibromyalgia was just, you're small, so you have small muscles, so you're never going to be strong.
Oh my God, I never heard that before.
Oh, no?
Never.
Yeah.
Never heard. Rose, have you ever heard anything like that before?
Yeah. So, and I believed it, but here's Tova, I believed it. I can't be strong because I'm a small frame. And he was a very kind of large man in this white coat. And I just believed that I don't have muscles. I'm small, and I believed it. And so the chiropractor was the only, when you ask about doctors who said, you can be strong, and we worked on getting myself feeling confident and strong and taking back my power. That was on my kind of when TMS awareness came into my life.
So how did TMS awareness come into your life now that you've gone down that track? Because that's very important, because, you know, you say to people, oh, watch All the Rage, and then they watch it, but it's not connected to them. It's sort of like, oh, okay, well, that was Michael Galinsky, or Dr. Sarno's book, you know, Healing Back Pain. Well, you know, that's not my back pain. You know, so what got you into understanding the depth of of the worrying background that you were creating, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the synchronicity of TMS, it kind of came from a couple of places. So I had been working with a coach just on anxiety, because a big part of this too is that I was in a career that I was no longer in alignment with, and that was causing a lot of suffering. But then the problem is that I felt afraid to leave. I was in so much fear, because here in the States, we have health insurance and have all these health issues. So how can I possibly leave a job
It's a big
that has
conflict
regular
for people? Yes.
And that was my safety. And I put all my safety and security not in myself. That's the huge shift, right? Now I can put it in myself. I put all the safety in having the secure job and the safety with that. So the synchronicity, I was working with a coach, And here's the funny thing. She told me about John Sarno's mind body
prescription. Well,
Yeah.
healing back pain and mind body prescription.
Yeah, I didn't read it. It didn't jive with me. I didn't. And then, do you know what happened? This is what I don't think I haven't even shared this with you, with Tova, is that she told me about a lady named Rebecca, who I realized was just on your show, that
Rebecca Tolan
was working with Jim. And when I saw her on the show, I go, oh my gosh, this is the same girl. So I never connected with her, but I started hearing about mind, body, and TMS from what she said. And I started, Jim Friesa, big shout out to him. I know he's been on here. But I wasn't ready yet. So I had heard a podcast around the same time with Steve Ozanich, and he talked about his book. And I got the book, and it just started clicking, all of it. It just clicked. I got the personality.
Isn't that funny? I gave Steve Ozanich's book away to somebody, to a patient. So it's so individual, isn't it? It's such a personal journey. And thank God there's tons of books, tons of different healers, and people have to know themselves and know what they need and know to say, this is not right, but I'm not giving up on the premise that you took responsibility for your healing.
Yeah. So wow. I had to go through the book and understand it. And then I called Jim. I was like, okay, I'm ready. So the book just resonated so much, and I got it. And that was on the
14 years. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And it was fast for me. It was a fast healing. Yeah.
And why, can you share on that note, if it's not fast for others, it's not like something's wrong with them. It's their journey. Can you share about that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, because I coach clients on this too. Everyone's different. And I think knowing it can be fast is helpful, because I was working with a client and she said to me, well, I know it's going to be slow. I was like, well, let's play in the energy of it can be fast. So healing can be fast, and there can be more to process. So I still deal with some TMS symptoms, some digestive stuff, and I got once in a while little shoulder stuff, but the reaction that I have to it is different, and I'm able to self-heal it. So definitely knowing that it is normal, of course. And yes, everyone heals, and there is no linear with healing anyway, right? So that was so helpful for me, because I always was so afraid every time I had a flare up that I regressed and it all was going backwards. So yeah. And also, I think you asked me a question about the tune-in too. Did you want me to share?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, of course. Well, we could actually do a demo of it if you like. Would that be a nice idea?
Well, first I'd love to first, I just want to have you talk a little bit more about your feelings.
Sure.
And I wouldn't be so in tune to this if Rose hadn't taught me so much about the importance of understanding how you felt, because we can't just skip over that. I mean, it'll bite you in the butt. But then talk about after you talk about your feelings, it moved you to want to do some very passionate things like sound and yoga and breathing. This is passionate scientific stuff.
Yeah.
This is mind, body, intimate things you're doing. But talk a little bit more about your feelings. Yeah. How you got through it emotionally.
Yeah. So I thought that I was really in tune with my emotions and feel. I know, so the play on words, I can't stop. I thought I was really attuned to my feelings because I went to therapy and I could talk about my pain and I would cry. And so I must be really feeling my feelings. Turns out talking for me wasn't helpful. It helped a little, but it wasn't healing. So I'm really passionate about the somatic practice and breathwork to feel my emotions, because talking emotions for many people isn't enough. And now
it takes you a little bit away from it.
Yeah. And then for me, I was in the victim loop. I was just in the victim of poor me. I mean, I was going through a lot. That's not to minimize it, but I wasn't given tools and techniques to move forward. And that's the big difference with the work that we do. So it's about moving forward. Yeah. So I thought I was really feeling and honoring I'm so connected and I can talk about stuff and I could cry, right? But here's the thing, I couldn't hold space for myself. I really had a hard time privately if I was sad and therapist isn't there or a friend wasn't there. It was very disconnected. I was very dissociated with the body, completely dissociated, which if you're watching and not sure, it just means you're in your head and you're not in your body, which is so common for people with chronic pain, because who wants to hang out down here? It's really, really painful. So yes, so through breath work, which also synchronicity came into my life at this time, was the first time I started to feel and I could process and heal my own emotions, which is pretty darn powerful. And that journey gave me the confidence to leave my job, which was huge for me, and huge, 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 huge. And I was terrified. And now I help people who are interested in doing the same thing too. So it's possible.
And, you know, I just want to add that Jeannie left her secure job as a teacher and launched herself out into the coaching world. I mean, that is just such a wonderful healing journey, just to drop the fear and jump. It's sort of like being on what would you call it, a diving board, and seeing the water down below and just saying, here I come. So that was the difference between that sense of security and fear. Could I just add that for people that are actually having a therapeutic sort of model, as long as your therapeutic model is about self-reflection and not calming, that's the difference, that to actually reflect into what's creating the fear and actually naming it. So often you'll find that a type of therapy that gives you ideas of how to manage is probably not as effective as actually pushing back against the person to see what else is going on within them. So just that's a little bit more for anyone who's interested in that. Yeah.
So true.
And I wanted to add too, I'll just add this because this is kind of funny, because people don't realize if I want to say that I had a corporate job, but it's corporate-ish, right? Because we don't have the same kind of structure. But again, just for people that hopefully can see in me, or I didn't have any business background, no sales, no marketing. You know, I've never asked for a raise in my whole life. I've never talked about money because it was always in my bank account every month. If you want more money, you exchange it for time, right? So it's I'll do this thing or I'll do that thing. And then the other thing, so that was a lot that I had to work through of not feeling, with my whole journey with health, it was always not feeling like I could do it, not feeling good enough. And then the other thing is interesting as a teacher is that really you can only leave in the summer. So I really did feel like I had no clients. I left. Most people, they build their practice and they have clients. I had been doing some breath work, but I mean, I think maybe I don't think I even had one client. Ideally, you'd want to leave maybe when you built your practice, but it was summer. Either you quit in the summer or you waited here. So that was even more, like, your nervous system did not want to.
That is a big dive. Yeah. That is a big dive, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It was really scary, but it was the right one.
Amazing. Amazing.
So shall we move to this united thing? What do you call it? Unity. This whole unity idea of actually encompassing your feelings. You know, what did you call it? Tuning in. I love it. I love even the word tuning in.
Yeah. Well, I think because obviously we're on this is so beautiful, this global community. We have people all over the world tuning in, and then the three of us all over the globe. So energetically, we're here to help and to heal. And I like it because it grounds me. Before we just took a couple deep breaths together and just set a really powerful intention for today's show. And I think, taking that pause, taking the breath, it's important.
Shall we do it?
Or tune in? Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. So if you want to put your feet on the floor.
Yeah. Feet on the floor.
Because sometimes I sit with my feet on my lap. And if you want to put your hands on your heart, and there's so many ways, but I like to imagine, you can also imagine roots coming down from your feet into the ground. And just notice your breath, if it's shallow. Yeah, and tuning in, what we did is we just energetically tuned in. So we set our intention. Be really powerful to connect us energetically with God or source or higher power. yeah, to really bring the words, the wisdom, the healing through us, because we're just the vessel. Help everyone who's on this call live and who's going to be watching the replay, that our words somehow inspire, or the right, just like Tova said, sometimes certain books don't resonate, certain podcasts, something that we say will be that aha transformation. That's just our biggest hope and intention. Yeah, and if you ladies have anything else to add. Noticing the breath deep in the belly. And then as we come to a close, and so it is.
So I do want to move into talking about I did your breath class, and what was special about it was hard because it was on Zoom, and I felt like I was I felt like it was a little difficult because I wanted to lie down, and then, but obviously the people that had been doing it were familiar. It was my first time.
Mm-hmm.
But there was lots of different music, and I realized that many times for different breath work, it doesn't have to be Om. It can be music, it can be sensation, it can be anything we want to calm our nervous system down. I mean, so can you talk a little bit more about why you chose this particular kind of breath work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was the breath work that I got introduced to right at the time too, where I was going through these big changes in my life. And so this breath work is connected conscious breathing. And it's interesting and important to understand. Breath work is a very loose term. It's kind of like fitness. So I hear all the time, oh, I've tried breath work. It's like saying you've tried fitness, right? Well, I run, so I don't like to play soccer, or I lift weights, so I don't like Pilates. So a reminder that breathwork's a very big, loose term. There are many different types. And so this one was just the one I happened to get introduced to. And in Los Angeles, this was before the pandemic, I was doing this in person. And wow, super transformational. And the reason the music, I love to curate these playlists. So I'm glad that you like it. And so every teacher is different, just like a yoga class or any type of class. I like to curate the music at the beginning that's a little bit stronger and motivating, because this is really normal to have resistance. And I always like to say in my classes, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So you did the class, even though maybe you were a little nervous. I hear people are nervous. I just did something, a different class recently. It's like, this is normal. It means we're growing, but this is so great that people try it. So in the beginning, I do curate a little bit more inspirational music, because of the fact that the first 9-10 minutes, the monkey mind goes in, the ego, there's distractions. So it's on purpose. Yes.
Yeah. More. Talk more about it a little bit.
Keep going.
I have so much to say about breathwork. So here we go. And Scotty just made a comment. Yeah. And Scotty joined me. We met in one of the TMS forums, and he started taking my classes actually. And yeah, so
I just put up the code. Just you can. I want you to finish, but I put up the code for this free class to anyone, and it's going all over Facebook now. But I want people to know that you're giving a free class to anybody that wants to sign up. Mm-hmm. What, Rose? You want to do it, Rose? Can you do a special? Can you do a special time? So Rose,
I am doing a special time, Rose, because I have a client now, Rose, in Australia. So we're doing a class. It's going to be in January on Monday. It's going to be on a Wednesday night, so that it's for you Thursday morning. So I have been thinking about you, definitely.
Oh,
and yeah, and just to tell everyone,
you see what Rachel just said? Jeannie knows it took 3 times for her to fall in love with breathwork. I think, Rachel, I have to come back another time and see if I can fall in love with it.
Yeah. Because the first time, this is what Rachel, so Rachel, I said this in a breathwork class, and because I said this, she's like, Jeannie, you have to say this every time. And every time I teach, it's different. She's like, you have to say this every time. So this is what I say. And this is a great for everything. Okay. The first time you do anything is just to get over the fear of it, right? So
wow.
just to get over the fear of it. The second time is to learn the technique. So of course you didn't know what to expect, and you might have heard stories and you don't know how it's going to be. So the first time you do anything is just to get over the fear of it. Okay. The second time, this is anything, horseback riding, trying a new class. The first is the fear. The second is to try the technique. Just learn how to do it. So the next time you take breath work, you'll probably a little bit more in the technique. The third time is to actually see if you like it. So that's what I had said. And Rachel had said to me, it was so true. You have to say that every single class. And I don't always, but she said the third time, because the mind,
it's important.
It is important. And this is a practice, right? Like, you're not going to be strong after going to the gym one time and doing one Pilates class. You haven't mastered the technique. And this is a lot faster. It's more active than a regular meditation. So I do hear all the time, and it's so true, amazing and transformational and really powerful. One class can be super transformational. Sometimes we are nervous, so we don't want to kind of go there as much. So that could be just, okay, now that you know what to expect, you might be able to kind of let go more. And yeah, it's beautiful. I would say too, one of the best things about breathwork is it really helped me quit my job, because I was in my head, right, all the time. The money, the health insurance, I had a pension, I had tenure. So I just would be stuck up here, and my heart and my soul is like, I want to coach, I want to help people. So doing breath work is this constant reminder, story, is this reminder of the truth. Like, how do you turn off the ego? There's no magic pill, but I always say that breath work's a pretty close second with how do you turn off the inner critic? How do you turn off the ego?
Yeah, but you're calling what I want you to say, but you're not doing fitness, you're doing a specific kind of breath work. So what don't you call it? What do you call it?
Yeah, so it is called breath work, but it's conscious connected breathing is the actual term. Yeah. So it's a 3-part breath, and I can demo it for you guys in a bit, but it's just breathing, and it's bringing in a ton of oxygen. So then we can get into, why does this, like, in line with TMS, and like what's the combination and the association is that you are completely in your parasympathetic nervous system after this class. And we bring in gratitude and appreciation, which is very, very difficult, I would say, if you're suffering from TMS, to be in gratitude, right? And I just wanted to say a quote, because I was reading Steve's book, and he said that, where did he talk about? He talked about, that we do need to be more appreciative in life. And I was reading that, remembering, thinking, gosh, that's really hard when you're not feeling well and you're struggling to get through the day. So breath work at the end, there's this huge gratitude component, and it's because your heart is open at this point, it's not forced. So I don't know about you guys, but just affirmations or writing in your gratitude book, if you're not feeling it, it can be not that helpful. So what we're really doing is getting into our bodies in a very safe way so we can process, heal these emotions and the trauma. So this is huge, huge work. Like, this isn't just, oh, I'm lying on the floor and breathing. This is healing generational trauma. This is healing and releasing these repressed emotions. You don't even have to know what they are. So I always tell people breathwork is the best practice, in my opinion, for people who don't like to talk about their feelings, right? Is there anyone else? Like, I work with men all the time who don't like therapy or coaching. So, okay, why don't you just lie on the floor and not share anything? Great. So, like, really healing and processing on a deep, deep level, because now the research, we know it's in the body, right? Like 20 years ago, we weren't talking about the body the way we are now. And the body keeps the score. It's in the body. So the repressed emotions, especially if you're going through TMS or any of these life journeys, how do we access it? How do we heal it? How do we process? How do we release it? So this is how we're actually moving, releasing, and healing on a very deep level. So some people cry during class, and people have moving, because we're like releasing in the body. So it's big work. It's not everyone's ready, but if you can have an open mind, it'll change your life. I just did breath work yesterday. I was going through some personal stuff, and after this, I just felt a shift, and it's like, it doesn't take it away, but it just helps you. It's like the only way out is through. right?
That's true.
The way out is
Yeah.
through. So if it helps you, great. If it's not your thing, breath work, it doesn't have to be, but this is a beautiful self-healing tool. And the reason I'm so passionate about it too, you guys, is because you don't need to call your healer. I was so dependent on the chiropractor. I was so dependent on my Chinese medicine doctor. I was so dependent on all these healers. And then, oh my gosh, I can heal myself and I can just do this work, and through TMS and through breath work, it's so empowering. And I just really want people to know. Yeah. I mean, you can come be in my class, you can do it on your own. Like, how powerful is that?
Well, can you address also, I know that one thing I felt, and I know that a few people who are just, some people felt like it was too fast and it was like overstimulating. Like, I was aware of the stimulation, and I'm seeing that there's a reason, like for sometimes that's what I'm trying to say is because the breath is connected to the vagus nerve and things are happening.
Yeah.
Like just that we're breathing. So I think if we just breathe and not get tied up, I mean, the music, yes, no, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling like, I think it's scary for some people. And then they say like, I can't, it's too much. I can see that it can bring up the fear. And so we think, oh, it's too much. And so there's our pattern of like bowing out before the magic comes. So I sense that like, this is very unusual. And also Michael Brown with the presence process, his breathing is very fast. It's also a little bit like, wow, what is this? So I can see that breathing for me is a little bit like, I'm going to find something wrong with it in each class because it's not the easiest. It's not something that I'm drawn to doing, breath work. And it's something I've been wanting to put it, so I'm just interested to look at. What do you think about that, Rose? Like,
let's talk about it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I get all excited. Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to interfere with Rose.
So what is it about I love talking about this. I'll get back to the real thing, but the vagus nerve, what's happening when we're breathing? It's stimulating the vagus nerve or something?
Yeah. So when we are, so first of all, just as you get more, like it was your first class. So this is the inner work, is the compassion piece. The inner work is the letting go of judgments of how it's supposed to be, of comparison. Like through the whole entire breathwork class, I'm coaching, and it's coaching on what I hear with my clients. It's coaching that stuff I'm going through. It's what I'm hearing. And there's a lot going on with breathwork, even just comparing ourselves. Actually, when we're in person, it comes up a little bit too, right? Of I'm not going fast enough. So this is, oh, wait, there is no perfection with inner work. Like that's right there. That could be someone's aha, right? Like, here I go again, trying to be perfect. This is why we need this work. Because I would say the biggest message of breath work is letting go. So can we let go of what? The criticism, the judgment, the perfectionism. Am I doing it right? So in many, many types of breathwork circles, there's a million different breathwork and breathing rhythms. Actually, they say your breathing rhythm is a snowflake. There's no two of the same. So can we be okay?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, everyone's rhythm is different. I was like, a snowflake? Really? Yeah.
So like a thumbprint.
Like a thumbprint. So can we trust ourselves to do what we need to do? So I don't know if you remember, but I didn't really model the breath like too much during the class because I don't want you to think that you have to go as fast as me. And I sent videos ahead of time. I don't know if you had a chance to watch those, but those are things that people can watch over and over, their intro videos, so that they feel more comfortable. And during class, this is trusting your body and trusting yourself to go slower. And yeah, I mean, like the music, I have gotten good feedback, and this is my style, to be a little bit aggressive and coach you, but some people prefer teachers that are just very zen and don't, I've been in classes where they don't talk much, and I'm like, I need some coaching. Like, let's go. I want some. So, everyone's style is different, and hopefully like you like my style. And if you don't, that's okay. So like I said, I've been in classes and they just don't talk much, and it's like Zen music and I fall asleep. And so a couple things. So we actually are amping the body during breath work, just like a workout. So we are going into the sympathetic nervous system. Yes. And that's why I do put the good music too, to kind of ramp you up a little bit. And if you're wondering about how fast, the rhythm is just a little bit faster than normal breathing.
It's true.
So this is yes, your journey, and this is you not worrying about anyone else, right? It's like, I got this. So that's in terms of the breath. So we are going into the sympathetic nervous system. And then after, so here's the thing, as a stress coach, I used to think stress is bad, stress is awful, don't be stressed. And then I realized it's like going up with stress, we need to come down. And this is very healthy and normal. It's just like going to the gym, we come down. Actually, it's just like sex too. You go up, and then what happens after? No one's going to forget this example. You go down. Okay? Like our bodies are meant to come down. So after breath work, this lovely, or after a yoga class or anything, like it feels good. So it's not this fear. I was afraid. Well, I was in the stress and the survival and the adrenaline. People don't know how to come down. And so this is what breath work helps us do, is to come down. And I say it's like a revolutionary act to just sit and breathe. This is scary. Like I have to lay there and breathe, and I can't wash my dishes, and I can't be productive in terms of like doing the things. So I would say like this is the work. Like this is the work, to give yourself this time, dedicated, not multitasking. It's really powerful. And in terms of like the vagus nerve, so yeah, the breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, which is connected to like every part, every cell, everything of the body. So it's science, right? If you can stimulate the vagus nerve through yoga and that's your jam, cool. You're going to definitely stimulate the vagus nerve through breath work. If you get calm and centered by doing a lovely meditation, that's going to help calm the body and put you into the parasympathetic state. So that's why there is no one way or the right way. It's whatever works for you that you do.
You know, as you were speaking, I thought how important humor is. And it actually activates the diaphragm as well. And and humor actually then takes us away from our chronic pain and our chronic fear. And I know it's not your area, but it was just reflected with me on when people have a belly laugh, you know, everything goes, everything relaxes. So there are other ways, I suppose, of actually finding a breath. You know,
yeah, and like Scotty just
without
said,
even knowing it.
Yeah, Scotty put feeling safe in our nervous system. And, you know, Steve Ozanich, he puts like throughout his book, have more fun. TMS, we need to be like having more fun in life. And so if you get to listen to a beautiful song that's like fun, and I make some jokes in class, hopefully they're funny, right? And the diaphragmatic breathing is how we get more oxygen into the body. So I thought, and if you did too, don't worry, because this is what I thought, if I want more oxygen, just take more breaths here. So actually we want to take breaths with our belly and the diaphragm. Like Rose said, the diaphragm's a muscle. So if you're not used to using it, you are going to strengthen it by doing this practice. So it's a muscle. You bring in a ton of oxygen to the body. Let's talk about TMS. It's mild oxygen deprivation. So it's going to feel great to your body to have a lot of oxygen into the body. People tell me all the time, my headache went away after class. My knee feels better. I think there's a couple of reasons. I think because we're obviously bringing in a lot of oxygen, but then we're also not focused on it. There's a lot of breathwork science now, just like there's so much TMS about releasing toxins from the breath. You can release 70% of toxins in the body through the breath and through the carbon dioxide exchange. And it's powerful. So when we talk about breathwork, it's a physical detox, up to 70% of the physical toxins in your body through the breath. I mean, wow. So you got to breathe correctly. Most of us don't know how to breathe. You're not going to bring out the toxins if you're doing shallow breathing. And then the metaphor I like to say is shallow breathing. It's like shallow life. You want a deep life. You want a profound life.
Beautiful.
Take the time, to go deep. So it's the physical detox. It's the emotional detox, because you are clearing a lot of stuff from the past, stuff that's going on. Again, you don't even have to know what it is. And then it's the mental too. Like, how do we clear this monkey mind? And I always say the best way is to get into the body. So it's pretty powerful.
Could I also add to that, the actually diaphragmatic breathing creates a consciousness, an internal consciousness, so that a person actually consciously goes to that muscle and moves it up and down. So it actually brings a person into their core. And as we talk about it sort of like in general, we're not actually hearing that it's our core that heals. We heal from the inside out. No wound ever heals from when it heals from the top down, it becomes infected, so to speak. But when it heals from the bottom up,
Yeah.
it heals. And the same with diaphragmatic breathing. We're actually in the midline of our bodies, and we're allowing that gut feeling to come up. So just to add to what Jeannie's saying, just to reinforce, I suppose, what Jeannie's saying, that it's a scientific understanding of what happens in our bodies. And when we've got somatic pain, it's important to actually go in there, even if you don't take a course, but to go in there and actually be aware of what happens when your diaphragm goes up and down.
It is so good. I'm thinking, and this is what we see with people, and that breathing is very intimate. It's an intimate action, and it's a quieting action internally in a way, and it can be lonely, and it can be scary, and it can be, I don't want to be in that place alone. And so the music can help for some people, because they're not alone, they're in the music, and you keep, like, I'm really looking forward to taking a class again, and maybe inviting some of the people that Ruth and I work with, and inspiring them to come. And I just so sorry we can't do it in person.
Well, let's manifest it.
like the parking space.
Yeah. Yeah, it is magical in person. So if anyone is in the LA area, come check me out next year. But I do think it also ends, some people you can imagine are a little maybe self-conscious to be in a group, maybe if emotions come. So I agree, in person is the ideal, but it's really been quite beautiful, because in breathwork, everyone's muted when we start, and it's private. You can have your screen off. So you really do have this the space, and you can go inward. And and Scotty says the community. Yeah, and I've been so blessed and grateful to have an international community. When I started, I wasn't doing online when the pandemic hit. So, and then I had people finding me from all over the world, and that's so exciting. And we attract the most heart-centered people. So wonderful. And like we said, again, I just want to reiterate with the parasympathetic, I mean, this is how you heal the mind body, is the parasympathetic. The body doesn't heal in fight or flight. The body doesn't heal in the sympathetic nervous system. So we need to find our best way. And going back to your point too, Tova, yes, you know what? The answers come in the silence, right? Like the answers, this is the intimacy. And when we can be intimate with ourselves and connect to ourselves, then we can connect with others. So of course, and I just want to honor that, because that's so brave to say too, that we are scared to go inward and what can come out. And this is, just so you know, documented in research, people with PTSD, this is a very safe practice. I mean, of course, people can talk to their doctors first, but it's very, what comes up is ready to be healed. So if it's coming up, it means it's ready to be healed. So if we're feeling nervous, let's use compassion with it, and there's some healing. And it's like an onion, and we're going to trust our bodies, because we're not taking drugs. We're not doing, you're in control. You can stop. You can go slower. And it's a healing journey. And like I said, the answer is how we said it comes in the silence. So if we're never silent, if we're never in our bodies, and that's why then we can talk to, I work with people all the time. We talk about all the things we do to not be in our bodies. So we drink, we eat, we overwork, we over everything, we overshop. And what we're doing is we're looking at different ways to cope, to numb, to buffer. And when we take them away, stuff comes up, right? So when I work with clients and we're like, hey, we're not using food to buffer our emotions anymore, it's like, why is all this stuff? I'm working with a coach, and why is it harder? Yeah, because they're not eating.
Good point.
Or why?
Good point.
Yeah, or like where I'm having clients take action and have some vulnerable conversations. Well, it was way easier before. but you're growing. And if we can acknowledge, that we have a lot of, look at Netflix and, the cell phone with, here's the thing, you guys, we're craving connection. We're just, I think in this pandemic, we're like desperate. So we're connecting. I mean, if social media helps you, but maybe most of us, it's not very helpful. For me,
it's temporary. It's temporary.
So it's the connection with ourselves and finding
that's
what's
the most important. Yeah.
So this is the intimacy, right? This is, I'm going to like connect with myself and be intimate. Nah. Isn't there like a pill I could take for that? Like there's got to be a magic pill. And that's fun.
You know, it's not easy to be intimate with your clothes on. This is really true. And this is a topic. It's like a book that I read once. It's like, it's really difficult to, when it's light and it's daytime. And we had on the Israeli show a woman who did laughter yoga with laughing yoga, and it's from India, and like there's nothing that's making you laugh, but you just start laughing to affect the vagus nerve. And I'm like, oh my God. And Marav and I were like, wow, how do you do this? Like, I need a joke. I need Rose to make me laugh. I can't just make myself. Well, I'm pretty funny, but that's beside the point. But anyway, can you imagine just laughing for no reason, and the health and the closeness that laughing is to crying, like the two ends of the.
It's contagious. Yeah. It's contagious laughter. But also, I was just thinking about being in the nursery in the hospital, and one baby cries and the whole ward cries.
You're right. Good point.
And especially on night duty, you quickly pick up the baby and see, right comfort away. It so that stop crying, so you don't have 20 of them crying.
Yeah, and crying's quite cathartic. You produce endorphins, and I mean, we all need a good cry once in a while. So
look how right away we're shutting the baby up. Right away, I just thought about that. Right away, don't cry. Isn't that?
Yeah, because you don't want the rest of them crying.
That's the first oppression, the first repression of feelings.
Yes. So true, Tova. So true. Yeah.
Oh my God. What else? What else do you want to say? Like, what do you want to leave our, you're so full of energy and so full of life, and so healing on your healing journey. I mean, none of us are immune to, it's like when the clients say, I want to fix it, I want it to be gone. I'm like, and it's such a powerful acceptance of this is the journey. This is the intimate journey that gets intimate, this is the journey. It's not a destination or destiny, but it's kind of a bittersweet, because we like, wait a minute, but the fairy tale is like it ends, and then like, no, it goes on. There's another book and another book and another book. So it's so admirable to watch you, and I just know Rose and I are just so blessed to meet people like you. And but tell us more. Leave. You've said so much. So what would you like to say to people? Like 10 words or less. Like what would be? There's no one message, but what is Jeannie's message?
My message is the body. My message is that, oh my God, I could feel like your emotions matter. It's okay to be sad. Wasn't raised where you could just be sad. It's like your emotions matter. And I think we're just so used to, this is over 9 sentences, or 9 words, but
it's fine.
A community of people, and
rules are made to be broken.
Yeah. Like your body, trust your body, and our emotions and trauma, it's in the body. And I want people to know that it's safe to feel emotions. It's safe to be emotional. It's safe to be vulnerable. It's a process maybe, but the wisdom of the body. And I know for a lot of us with TMS, if you're like me, you've struggled with feeling, and I see it with my clients, and feeling like you're not good enough, and emotions, it's all tight. I'm on the other side of TMS, but 14 years of repressed emotions, they're still healing, and feeling okay about this journey of I can be emotional and it's not too much. And this is me. And I think that the story about the body and that the healing is going to come through the body, it's really important that this is just keeps coming to me, this expression I heard on a podcast for Castillo. She's like, let it hurt.
Let it hurt.
Let it hurt. Your sadness, there's nothing wrong with you. Anger, they're healthy emotions. And I didn't know they were healthy emotions. If I was sad, it was, well, what's wrong? Like, fix it. And so as a coach, I mean, yeah, we don't want to be like, there's some healing and right. Like we're not like depression. That's a whole other story. But if something happens and you're upset, I mean, let it hurt. It's not this fairy tale like Rose was saying about, oh, I'm sad. And in America, I know that if you're sad and you go to your doctor, you're going to get a pill in about 2.5 seconds.
That's right.
And same thing with your anxiety. And what I work with clients is transforming our relationship with our emotions and our relationships with anxiety. So a lot of people I've worked with, it's like, I don't want anxiety, so I'm going to push it down and avoid doing these big things. And I think one of the big takeaways in my coaching and when I taught in breathwork, I get really fired up, as you know. It's like, if you want a big life, okay, if you're here for the big life means all the emotions.
Good.
It's like Brene Brown, she talks about you can't selectively choose your emotions, right? Like if you only want to be happy, then you're just suppressing your whole life. So a big life means big emotions. And if you think about it, for me, it just brings up so much of risk and all the things that I've done, because old Jeannie's like, I don't want to be rejected and start a business. What if someone doesn't hire me, right? Or think about dating, right? People, I'm never going to date.
It's easy to have tons of kids love you. They're just, teenagers. They can just love you, but adults?
Yeah. I use the example with dating, and that's really good, right? Well, yeah, if you never date, you're never going to get your heart broken, but that's not exactly. So if you want a big life and you're here for it, means taking risks. It means making mistakes. But here's the thing, having the emotional intelligence that you can I can take more risks now in my life because like sadness is not going to kill me. I'm not terrified to be sad or angry. Like I don't like it. I'm not like, yay, I'm sad, but it's not going to hold me back anymore. And so that's the switch with clients. It's the switch of big life means you're taking risks, that you're putting yourself out there, you're risking intimacy, vulnerability, you're trying new things. Because if you want a big life, it's the highs and the lows with the emotions that we want, like the happiness, and it's also the emotions that maybe you don't want. But this is life. Life isn't, like Rose said, the happily ever after. This is a big life. And I really want people to remember that's the journey. It's not to be happy. It's to be alive. It's to be conscious. It's to be growing. And then the other thing I'll just add is that if you have gone through big trauma, that's really scary. And so that just needs some healing. Okay. Because I know a big life and feeling alive. So the goal of your life, or a goal, would be to be alive, to feel alive. It's not to be happy. So that can be challenging, like I said, if you've gone through some trauma, but it's possible. Of course, it's just our nervous system is a little bit dysregulated. So I would say that's something I'm really fired up about, because I bought into the happy, I should be happy. And then what would I do when I wasn't happy? I blame myself. Like that's where unnecessary suffering is, right? This myth of I have to be happy. And if I'm not, there's something wrong with me. And how long should it take for me to get over not being happy? So powerful. Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah.
It's almost like having a bad mood, isn't it? Like, people will say, well, I was in a bad mood, so someone upset me. Well, like seeing what's going on inside in you, you can be sad rather than in a bad mood. You can be angry rather than in a bad mood. Like that whole idea that any of your feelings have to be repressed. And then you just sort of go into sort of a sourness or something, a bad mood, and be disrupted with other people, instead of recognizing, no, I was offended by that, or I was hurt by that, and I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling unhappy about that. Oops, and recognizing it, as Jeannie said, and going, well, how did you put it? Going through it, going in and going through and out the other side. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I'm a stress coach, and like, if there was another way, you guys, I'm the expert. If there was another way, the only way out is through. And like Scotty said, he put, it's safe to feel emotion. That is the core of TMS healing.
Yeah,
right?
I actually think that Alan Gordon's book should be The Way Through, not The Way Out. But anyway, that's okay.
Yes.
Because but the way out is the right direction. That's for sure. You know, it reminds me of you know, there's people that are in pain, and I probably wouldn't have understood this if I hadn't studied, you know, so much in the last couple of years directly about this. And there's something called the New German Medicine, which is out of Europe. This gentleman, his son died of cancer, and then he got cancer. And he was a doctor, and he started to explore chemically and neurologically. And then he realized emotionally, when we get the symptom, the healing begins. And you've made a point about that. And I think, Rose, it's kind of like, this is an opportunity. And whenever people call them, like, I'm in pain, doc, I'm like, this is an opportunity. Like, I want them to take it. Like, what do you, so it's interesting about the pain, and it's there, and pain is not bad, and stress is not bad. But we're trained to believe that it's hurting us. It's trained to believe that, like, we're trained to believe that something is wrong with pain. Pain, no. Pain, bad. Stress, no.
And it's,
you know, stress is just a word. Stress means pressure. It's a word. And it didn't used to be a buzzword till many, remember, like Hans, what's his name? That Dutch man talked about why stress became this buzzword. I remember I was like in my 30s. It was not even, do you remember hearing about the word stress?
Well, I think it used to be just bad. Right. And like, I think, yeah, like how Scotty said too, and we touched about it like a little bit before, is that some of these things we think are healthy ways of coping aren't healthy. Like, they're ways to just avoid the stress and to numb ourselves. And we think, oh, I'm going to go work out for 5 hours because I'm sad. I mean,
right.
It's very complex. It's a very interesting journey. But like you said, it's not the death. It's who you become. Ooh, here we go. Who you become on your journey, healing yourself physically. You are going to heal. Have the compassion, which is what I think it's all about, is the journey from the inside. And when you can hold space for your emotions, be there, the stress, knowing the pain, what it's all about. Yeah, I think we said last time, didn't we say that the body is the subconscious mind? How we use that?
Yes. Yes, exactly. And you know what I love about TDP is what Rose introduced us to Martin Scorman, and I'll never forget that he said, if we can bring the unconscious conscious, then we've created healing. We've created a safe place. Or can you elaborate on that for a minute, Rose? What he said about the unconscious? I mean,
well, exactly. Well, in ISTDP, what we're doing is putting pressure on a patient so that their unconscious will become conscious, and then their trauma is resolved. It doesn't take the trauma away, but it actually stops the reaction to the trauma.
Yeah. Or integrates it so it becomes.
Yeah. So it becomes part of your history, but not part of your symptoms, put it that way.
Yeah. Beautiful.
You know, could I just add to this little dialogue this wonderful thing that Jeannie just said, and that was, this is for our viewers and our audience and those that might watch us on YouTube, that we hold space for our feelings. Jeannie said emotions, but add feelings to that. The feelings in your body, the tension in your body. Why have I got tension in my body? Why have I got that fiery feeling wanting to come up now? Do I need to repress it, or do I need to look at it? Could that be anger that I'm feeling? I don't need to spit it out as rage. I could actually hold it and give it space and give it acknowledgement that I've been hurt. So it's just been a lovely way of you describing it all, Jeannie. And I just sort of wanted to sort of add that to the mix, that is to hold that space. And if you think about it, let's go back to the breath. The breath allows you the window, if you want to call it, or even the tiny gap to actually hold that space. In the few moments that you're doing the breathing or afterwards, okay, your trauma may come back, or your thoughts or your anxious thoughts might come back. But for one couple of minutes or half an hour or whatever, you've actually given space to your body to just go down, soften, flatten out, and to slow down that terrible, terrible dialogue that goes on in people's heads. So, yeah.
Or that constant reaction, like, I got to do something, I got to do something, I got to fix something, I got to fix something. It's so hard to be. And so we're back to the breath.
That's exactly what you said too, about it's so hard to just be in our bodies. And I wanted just to add to what Rose said, because
beautiful, Rose.
So powerful, beautiful, especially when I work with moms. Okay. And I work with anyone, like a teacher, anyone who is seeing, like, kids don't follow what you say, they on what you do, right? So especially with our emotions, okay, so if I can't hold space for my emotions, I'm not going to be very available for other people's. So as a parent, I think moms especially can feel, oh, self-care, and who am I to do this? I feel guilty, and my kids, this is the best. Doesn't have to be breath work, self-care, and to take care of yourself and the inner work. Because and I see it with my clients, their kids, it just changes, first of all, their relationship. And when I just could like cry. I'm so happy when I see my clients, like the moms, teaching their kids about their emotions and how to feel them. And I just have to share this. One of my students she's a 5-year-old daughter, and she'll just kind of like listen to breath work in the background, right? Her mom will be doing it. And she's like, well, Jeannie tells us our triggers are our teachers. And she's 5. And she's like, the mom and I, are so, it's okay, Mom. Jeannie says it's okay to be sad, and that's normal, and it's safe. And a 5-year-old who they pick up on this stuff. And then, like I said, when we know that our own emotions are safe, we give space to our children or our family. And it's not so like Tova said, we're not comfortable with our own emotions. So if someone else is having a moment, it's like, well, I can't be there for them. Like, oh, that feels icky. It's like right now, I can do this better for my clients because I'm taking care of myself, and not just taking care, I can hold space for my own emotions. So this is the vulnerability and the connection. So first with ourselves, and then again, here's another example of the intimacy and the connection with someone else, right? If we're looking for a romantic partner or more intimacy with any of our relationships, it goes back to ourselves first. Again, I know, I wish there was maybe like, it's not what we want to hear, right? As a coach, it's like what we need to hear sometimes. So it starts with breath.
Yeah, the other day a client said, oh, what did they say about Rose? They said, oh, Rose is relentless, and you're not. Rose is relentless, and thank God you're not relentless. And I was like, well, Rose and I make a great balance, because it's interesting, but it is, it's like Rose, and I was just thinking of this. Rose may say a word about this, but both your parents have commented, which is really beautiful. I mean, I wish I could have been close with my parents in that way. And I see that both your parents are commenting. And I'm wondering this, because we have a few minutes left. And, I'm wondering, because you had 14 years of chronic illness, did your parents feel blamed, or what was the relationship like? Can you address that for a few minutes? And where's my one comment?
Yeah, I want to shout out to my dad, who just finished his first TMS book. He read Alan Gordon's book, so we got to give Mark some. Yes. Double hip surgery. So we'll just keep it like my dad and I haven't dived in too much into the hip. He had double hip replacement surgery, and I'm like, maybe you should read this book, Dad. And Scotty says, bravo. Yeah. And my dad, he's been taking my breathwork classes, and my mom too. So this is brave, tough work. So I think it was painful for my parents. I mean, they didn't know how to help. I didn't know how to help. I think my dad's very action, he's like the best guy, but very action. Like, if I'm sad, okay, let's call this doctor, let's do this. And, it is helpful to take action, but in my case, like nothing was like working, so to speak. So, and then I was feeling guilty because like, I feel bad that I'm causing them. I don't want them to be stressed or suffer. And so it's like this big spiral. It's very, very challenging. And yeah, again, the emotional stuff that just doesn't go away right away. But that's, if like people that are watching this and who can relate or who can help people, that's why this is so important, because there's so many people who don't know about this. And it's like, sometimes it's like the better doctor, the more money, it turned out no. Right? Like, I saw the best doctors in LA, and like the simplest practice was the one where, I mean, you can start healing so quickly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
You're bringing the person back to themselves instead of out to some other expert. You're bringing them back into their own lives. So see it like that. You go out to all these experts, they're external, but really the healing is within. And that's what Jeannie's talking about, the whole idea. Go out to all these expensive doctors and etc. in LA, for example, but stay within yourself and see what's really going on within.
Yeah.
And that whole idea of doing the breath work goes back into that internal person. And as Jeannie says about stress isn't necessarily bad. We need stress. It's what grows us, gives us capacity. But when we actually are overcome by it, it becomes more external. It's our boss that's causing us stress. It's our kids that are causing us stress.
Yes.
It's our partner. But actually the stress is overwhelming within us. And that's how wonderful it is to go to someone like Jeannie who actually draws you in. Yoga as well, meditation, all those things, drawing the people within themselves so that they can actually grow emotionally and spiritually and become more aware of the world and actually change the world as we become more aware. So Jeannie, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
It's just
wonderful. All your fans have been here, have come to visit.
Tova, will you put in again that link? Where is the link?
Yes,
is it on
I
the
think
side?
here it is.
Oh, yeah,
it is.
Okay. And I'll just tell them about that real quick again. Is that okay?
Do please.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, just put it up again.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm not doing any more classes in December because of the holidays. So it's January 9th. It's a Sunday. It's 9:30 a.m. It's completely free to this community, and you can definitely spread the word. And every time I do classes, there's a replay. And if you have any questions, how to sign up. And then also follow me on Instagram. It's at Jeannie Kulwin Coaching. So you can also follow me here on Facebook and stay in touch. And yeah, I really just want to give support and encouragement. And yeah, you can work with me however you choose.
Wonderful.
And just think, anyone out there who's stuck in a job that they're bored with or annoyed with, see what
or if it's coming out sideways in your body and your body's like screaming. I mean, I've been completely healthy, you guys, since I left my job. So, I mean, there is that.
Can I ask you guys a favor? Because I have a little anxiety and I need some help. So Rose and I have been on this for 2 years, and we've been learning this navigating this broadcasting information. And I want to show this little 2-minute video that Rose and I and Michael did at the end of our show, so people can see and learn a little bit about, our connection with Michael Galinsky. And we have a little, like, it's a 1-minute thing, and I'm going to put it up.
Oh, lovely.
Because I want to deal with my anxiety. I want to feel my feelings of, like, if I don't do it, I'm never going to learn. So I don't want to keep hiding behind the camera here. And I'm the producer tonight, and then Rose is going to get a chance to do it another night because we got to share. I've got to share
share the stress.
Share the stress. Well, anxiety is good. Like, anxiety is, I feel my body. I see my eyes blinking. I'm like, I'm having anxiety. Why am I having anxiety? I want to do this, and I could easily do it next week, but I want to do it, and I need your help. Okay, so I'm gonna put this little less than 2-minute little video up. It's really interesting, and we're gonna go down into the lower studio and watch it, and then come back up and say goodbye. Can we do it that way so I can practice?
Okay, lovely. Go ahead.
Okay, so all right, so stay with us.
Proud of you, Tova. Good job.
Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Michael Galinsky, and I'm a filmmaker. I've made a film about Dr. John Sarno and his mind-body approach to medicine. And in the course of taking that film around the world, I met Rose Hoey in Australia and Dr. Tova Goldfein in Israel. And together, we decided to pool our resources and work together to spread the message of mind-body medicine.
So I'm Dr. Tova Goldfein, and I've had the privilege of helping many, many people in chronic pain and with autoimmune disease take responsibility and live a quality life. And like Michael, I've had the privilege of studying Dr. John Sarno's methods, along with many other doctors that have taken the methods a step further. The movie All the Rage is a blessing, is a mitzvah, and it has helped thousands of people manage and come out of chronic pain.
My name is Rose Hoey. I'm an ISTDP psychotherapist and a registered nurse, and I have the wonderful privilege of spending time with patients, helping them to see what they don't want to see, the issues that have hurt them for so long. We are doing this show because we know that you can heal too.
Exactly. So together, weekly, we come on with therapists and doctors and movie producers and people that have self-healed from chronic disease and from chronic pain and autoimmune disease. And we hope to continue weekly meeting you and educating you and helping you self-heal. Okay, wait a second. Okay, wait. No,
Very good.
Can you hear me? But I heard an echo. Did you hear an echo?
We
No,
don't see
I
you
didn't.
yet.
Okay, wait. Do you see me now?
I've seen you all
Do
the
you see
time.
me? Oh, okay. Did you hear an echo
And
in
Jeannie-
that?
No echo.
Oh, okay. So that was wonderful. Okay, okay, no echo. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Rachel. You've had wonderful fans on tonight. You have an amazing fan club, Jeannie.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, everyone. And oh, yes, they're so special. I appreciate the love and being with you too, and just being so supported. And thank you for trying the class, because I know it's challenging, but it's so worth it. And I can't wait for you to try it, Rose. And
I'm going to come back. I want to do it with Rose. Can I do it with Rose?
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm going to do it, Rose, in January, because my client from Australia, I promised her that she's going to try it live.
Oh,
So,
good.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Right.
And with God willing, we're going to have a big summit, a big conference in a few years, and we're all going to meet. Rose and I are going to meet all of our guests, and we're just going to party all night and breathe.
Oh, good. Okay, right. I'm in for that.
Okay.
Yes.
God bless. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Love you
And wonderful
guys.
day. Thanks,
Yeah.